Welcome back everybody to episode 4. We're going to do a couple quick things in this video, and first we're going to fix that problem of our player sticking to platforms. I modified my basic prototype level a little bit here just to show I'm sticking to the wall. If I hold my arrow key to the right, I'm sticking, and we don't want that in our game, okay? So I want to be able, and if I fall off, I fall forever, and we should probably respawn back to the start of our level. So we're going to do those two things right now. So first, we're going to go down into our assets, and we're going to do something new. We're going to right click, and we're going to create a new asset. So go up to create, and it's 2D is what we're creating here, and it's going to be called a physics material 2D. Now, physics material allow you to control friction and bounciness of the rigid bodies in our game and how the colliders interact. So we're going to call this slippery. Okay, so I've just titled it slippery, and I'm going to go up here, and you see the friction defaults to 0.4. We don't want that. We want 0 friction. Okay, so we're going to type that to 0. You could also change the bounciness, but obviously in this game we don't want the player bouncing. We want to control the movement. So we set that to 0, and now we can apply this two different ways. I can click on the slippery and drag it right onto my player, and that will work. Or I can select the player. Let's zoom back out. I didn't mean to zoom in there. And go to the capsule collider, and I could add the material, physics material here where it says missing. So we'll drag it over like so. And there we go. Now it's slippery. Test it really quick, and we should slide right back down that wall. And of course, in Geometry Dash, if you hit a wall, you actually die and have to respawn anyways, which we'll implement that in the next video. So as soon as this updates, I will demo it. Almost there, a couple seconds, let's go. Three, two, one, let's play. Okay, here we go. And there I am, jumping around, and let's make the jump, and nothing. Right? I cannot stick anymore, which is exactly what we wanted. Okay, perfect. All right, let's go back into our script. So remember, our player controller script is here in the assets. I could also click on the player and double click it here to access it, but let's take a look at that now. All right, here we go. Here is our player controller script. And what we need to do is we need to create some type of a check in our code to see how high, what the current Y value, the height of our player is. At a certain height, we want the player to respawn back to a respawn point. Well, we don't have that point yet, so let's go create it in Unity. So click back in Unity right now. We're going to go into our hierarchy, and we're going to right click over there. Let's just compiling scripts. All right, back in action. Okay, right click, and we're going to create empty. We need a location, so we're going to call this respawn point. That makes a lot of sense. And right now you can see nothing. So what we've created for the first time is an empty game object. Okay, so you can't see it. If I'm not clicked on it, you can't actually see it because it doesn't have any sprites. Like my player has this sprite renderer, so you could actually see something. Well, when we create an empty game object, all it has is a transform, but that's all we need for a respawn. We just need to know where to respawn. So I'm going to right click the transform and reset it back to 0, which is where my player is currently. That's what I wanted. And I'm going to put a tag so I can see it. An icon. So I'm just going to make an orange icon, and now you notice I can see it in the scene view, but of course we're not going to see it in the game view over here. All right, now we have our respawn point. Let's go back to our script, and we're going to reference that. So we're going to go back up here. Remember, everything has to be contained inside this bracket and this bracket, okay, inside of our class. So we need a new reference here. We need to reference our respawn point. Okay, and I want the respawn points transform. So we're going to go public because I'm going to assign it in Unity. So we need access. We don't want it private. And we're going to call this, we want its transform, and we'll call it respawn point. There we go. All right, now we have the variable set up. Now we need to create a check. Remember, the start runs only at the very first frame of the game, so we don't want it there. Update this code runs every single frame, so this is a great spot to put any type of checks, and we're going to do another if statement like we did before. So let's try this out. We're going to go if, and what we're going to do is check the position of the player. Now, this script is attached to the player, so I can reference the game object, the player, easily by typing something so simple, just this. If I type this, it's now accessing everything that this script is attached to on this game object. And I specifically want to look at its transform. And then from the transform, I want to look at the position. And from that position, I want to look at the Y value. Okay. And now we need to create some type of check. Now we're going to be checking if we're at a certain height, we want to respawn. So what height am I going to put in? Well, we're going to try a height right now, but remember where my player was 0, so I'm going to try -10. Okay, so it's going to check if that position is less than -10 and that with an F because, oh, actually I don't think we need an F there for the float. So it's just going to check the Y position. When it is less than, notice we're using the less than symbol here. It kind of looks like an L for less than, a squished L. And if that's true, we want something to happen. Now, this is where we want to respawn. So we're going to do something brand new here. We're going to create our first custom method or function, and we're going to be calling it respawn. Okay. Oh, and it's auto correcting. So let's go make the function first down here. So remember, I'm going to go down here past the fixed update, which runs every physics step. And we're going to make sure we put it not after this bracket, okay? Just after the fixed update, because we want this inside the class, inside our script. So we're going to do our first brand new method. Now we're going to make this private because it's only inside this script. It's not going to be accessed from other scripts or game object. And we're going to be calling private, and it's not going to return anything. It's just private. Void. Void means it returns. Sometimes you want functions that will return numbers. We're not doing that. We just want it to move our player back to the respawn point. So we're going to call it respawn and open close parentheses. And now we're going to say, hey, what do I want to actually happen? Well, it's really easy. We're going to reset the position of the player. So we're going to access the player's position, which we already did once. So this dot transform dot position, and we're going to set that equal to the respawn point that we already, oh, can't spell, the respawn point dot position. That's it. That's all we need in our first custom function. So all it's going to do is it's going to take our current position of our player and set it to the respawn point. It's going to like transport. It's going to be like teleportation. Okay. So now we can go back up here in this if statement, and if we are below -10, we will call the respawn. Whoops. The respawn method. That's it. That's all we need to do here. I think we're ready to go. Yep. Press Control S to save our script. And let's go back to Unity. It'll compile scripts, and we're going to test if this respawn actually works by jumping off the platform. All right, let's test it. So here we go. Here I am, running around. I can't stick to the walls, and I slip off the edge. Oh, nothing happened. Well, what do? Notice this red statement down here. It says the variable respawn point to player controller has not been assigned. Okay, that's important. If we want to see it better, we can click on the console here, and we can see it's happened 962 times, which means it's happening every single frame. What that's telling us is in the code, it is checking. It's trying to run this respawn method, but it doesn't have any reference to the respawn point. Easy fix. Back in Unity, go to our player, and remember, I now created this respawn point right here, and I never referenced it. I never told Unity what it was. Well, It's right there. So we're just going to click and drag it down and it'll reference the transform. Here we go. Let's test it out and it should be good to go. And that'll be it for this video. Moving around, jumping around, fall back. It's like an instant teleportation. Okay, so we don't need anything else happening there. If you don't like how short or how quick that was, okay, you could go into your script if you want to. I think I'm going to tweak it just a little bit for in my game. I'm going to go from -10. I'm going to tweak that to a little bit longer of a fall, so you feel the pain of falling off the platform, so to speak. I'm going to change it to -20. Okay, and that concludes this video. In the next one, we are going to create a hazard and also respawn back to the beginning of the level if we run into something like spikes. Okay, we'll see you next time.